Hello everyone. Today I'm going to make a short explanatory video about how to start with Owlvex within 60 seconds. That being said, let's head towards the extensions. You're going to find the extension Owlvex in here. You're going to click on it. You're going to install it. I have already done that. I'm not going to do it again. Once you have finished installing the extension, you will like to restart your extension or restart VS Code entirely. Once that's happened, you will come back here where the extension sits on the side. And the first thing you're going to have to start, you're going to come to this cog. And within here, you're going to look for your account. Within the account, you're going to press Start Trial. You're going to be asked to fill in your email. Please make sure that is an email that you have access to because you will receive a code to your email that will activate the license. If you do have a separate code from the license, now is going to be the time to use it. And that is going to extend your trial or it's going to change your license based on the code that you have. Once you have done that, you will come back here and you will start set up your LLM. Prior to setting up the LLM, it's advisable to have an API key from one of the vendors. It doesn't really matter which one it is. You will see something similar to that. In my case, I'm using AI Foundry. And I'm clicking on there. You can see it already knows my endpoint. You should add the endpoint. Once you have the endpoint, you will be asked to provide the model name. Please make sure it is exactly as the model name because you'll not be able to find it, or use the key if it's not exactly like that. For the other vendors like Claude, for example, you might get away without saying the exact model name. And now it's going to ask for the key. I have already configured that, so I'm not going to add the key again. And that should be it. Once we have finished here, you can go into testing connection. So you go into the setup and you're going to test your connection. If your connection comes back normal, then you are completely set up. And that should be done pretty much within 60 seconds. From now on, everything that you do, it should be work related. So the configuration has been completed. That being said, I'm going to go back to my work. I'm going to choose one of the files. I do have in here a couple of files that they are purposely made for benchmarking. Let's choose this file here. On the bottom right, I will open Oli. And this is how you start a new chat. So I'm going to start a new chat. I'm going to erase the memory for this one because I want to start fresh. And let's say that I'm working on this code here, and I do not understand what this code does for any reason. Let's pick up this function. Yep, and I'm saying and we are waiting for a bit until it is reading the function, and it's going to create an explanation for us on what this function actually does. As we can see, we have a pretty comprehensive explanation on what it does, how it does. It depends on what the function it's meant to do. The explanation can be longer or can be shorter. One thing I have forgot to say is when you are in the configuration mode, one thing that you want to do is to set up the project root. And the project root, in your case, it should be the same folder as your Git repo. And I'm saying that because the LLM is going to have that as reference where the boundary for understanding the context of the code starts. So if you set it up much shorter, and if you want to have I don't know, only a couple of files within a certain folder, that is absolutely fine, but you have to keep in mind that when you're going to ask Owlvex to scan your code, that is going to be the context it's going to look like, and that's what it's going to understand about. Now let's go back to our file. Now that we have an explanation, we understand what the function does. Let's say we have finished work, and now we want to scan. So we want to scan this file to see if there are any vulnerabilities within the code. Now we do have a report, a preliminary report in here, and we can see it finds a problem. It's very risky, is 9 out of 10. And we can read about the problem, what is the problem, why it is a problem, so on and so forth. If we want to go further and understand, I don't know, let's say to show the attack path in here, we can see already what is the part that is creating this problem. And we can create a preview fix, which is going to create a diff with a proposed fix. As you can see in here, we have a diff with a proposed fix. We can review this fix, and if we are happy with this fix, we just say we are accepting the fix. At this moment in time, Owlvex is going to start fixing the code with a proposed fix, and once it's finishing repairing the code, it's going to rescan the file one more time. And that is because we want to make sure nothing has been left behind or we have not introduced another problem. And in this case, we can see that after the second scan, it was no other problem. So we scan again, and we didn't find any additional problem. Something very important for people that are using Owlvex to understand that in between scans, the memory of Owlvex is getting reset. The reason for doing that is because we don't want to have a biased product. We don't want to fix something with Owlvex and the same Owlvex to go back and be biased within the next scan. I think that is everything for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I would like to hear from you about Owlvex. Tell me how do you find it, tell me if you like it, tell me what you don't like about it. Thank you very much and have a good day.